Installing a new Strassburger double door system to ensure it operates flawlessly is easy when you follow these straightforward guidelines. Remember, service calls cost everyone, so doing it right the first time saves money and creates satisfied and new customers. Prior to installing your vinyl door frame, check that the opening is square and the right size. Always allow a minimum of a ½ inch on both sides as well as the top of the frame. Make sure your door is the correct size, style, and color for the opening. Place shims on the frame in line with the pre-drilled holes of the vinyl frame, making sure the vertical hinge side of the operating door slab is plumb. Place shims in between hinges in line with pre-drilled holes of the frame. Place 4 more shims on the inactive side between hinges directly in line with pre-drilled holes of the frame. Next, sweep all debris from the sill and check to make sure the sill opening is level. If not, correct this situation prior to proceeding to the next step. After confirming the sill is level, install a water membrane along the length of the sill and approximately 6 inches up the sides. It is important that you contact your nearest DuPont dealer for installation instructions for any waterproofing requirements. Next, apply a high-grade caulking to the floor of the doorway, making sure to sweep all debris from the sill area prior to applying the caulking. Make sure to remove the shipping brackets and bag of installation screws prior to the next step. Proceed to place the unit in the opening at the same time applying pressure down on the sill to guarantee a good seal along the sill and floor. Caution must be taken to make sure the sill is level across its entire width at all times. If the door is loose in the opening, you may add additional shims to help secure the top of the frame in the opening, keeping the top of the door frame flush with inside of the finished wall. We recommend always using shim material that will make full contact to the existing shim and the door frame. These shims should be placed carefully so the frame of the door does not bow or distort. Make sure to keep the hinge side of the main operating door slab plumb and level at all times. Do not rely on the existing structure for plumb. Fasten the vertical frame at the top into pre-drilled holes on both active and inactive sides using 3-inch screws into the studding. Proceed to install a 3-inch screw at the lower corner of the active side, making sure to keep the door frame level. When installing your 3-inch installation screw, always remember to only snug the screws in place. Do not over-tighten, as this will cause stress at that point, which could affect the operation of the door. Prior to installing the 4th 3-inch screw at the lower inactive side, check that the active door slab is making even contact with the weather stripping of the astragal and that the chute bolts, top and bottom, are fully engaged into the header and sill of the frame. If this is not the case, you will need to adjust the jamb on the inactive side by moving the frame either in or out. This procedure will take what we call the cross-bowing or racking out of the door system. At this time, check the top corner of the lock side. You will notice 2 shipping spacers, one at the top and one at the side of the top corner. There is also a spacer below the deadbolt as well as at the bottom of the door. All spacers should not be removed until the door is correctly installed and operational, as these spacers act as a gauge to maintain the 1/8 to 3/16 even space that is required. The 5th and 6th screws are now installed into the top of the top hinges. Again, just make the screws snug, do not over-tighten. The purpose of no shims in the top hinges is to allow adjustment if the door slabs for some reason should sag towards the center. This can happen depending on the size and weight of the glass one is chosen for the doors. Make sure the gap around the perimeter of both the active and inactive door slabs is approximately 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch, as well as the gap along the length of the astragal, and that it is consistent and operating smoothly. If the gap at the top of both the active and inactive door slabs is not consistent due to the door slab sagging, tighten a 3-inch screw in the top of the top hinges only enough to even the spacing around the slabs. Next, install 3-inch screws into the remaining pre-drilled holes. Please note, we do not recommend solid shims in the header of any of our products due to the possibility of the framed wood header structure bowing down. Once the door is secure, check the operation, making sure that the sight lines are consistent and that the door is operating smoothly. Caution must be taken to ensure the door slab is making even contact with the astragal lock side. If not, you will need to recheck the shims along both the active and inactive side and reset. Caution! Strassburger sells various astragals and locks. Please make sure to operate your door prior to the final steps. You are now ready to seal the perimeter of the door. There are many products that can be used for this job. It is very important not to overfill or pack the cavity. This could cause the frame to bow or distort and prevent proper operation of the door. Keep in mind you only require an air barrier at the dew point or door slab of your door. Filling the cavity completely has little or no benefit. If you are using a low expanding foam for this job, remember to keep the doors locked for about a half hour after performing this task. If your door has a transom attached, this is the last part of the door system to secure. Prior to securing it to the structure, cut a 2-inch by 2-inch piece of lumber that measures 2 millimeters longer than what the opening is along the hinge side, from top of sill crown to underside of the header. Place the wood in the center of the opening alongside the astragal of the inactive door slab. Once in place, proceed to fasten the transom. Prior to installing your trim around the door, unlock and operate to make sure you have not hampered the operation of the door. You are now ready to install your trim. If your door has side lights attached, please view video instruction titled Door with Side Lights. Well, that's it. You've installed your Strassburger door the right way and avoided costly and aggravating service calls. Thank you for purchasing Strassburger doors.